Well, the Golden Hurricane of Tulsa lost 6 in a row. At the end of the season, they started 4-1, so a disappointing year for Todd Graham as he enters his 4th year. They had back-to-back conference championship appearances the year before last year. G.J. Kinney, a lot of experience at quarterback. He's back. Charles Clay, the halfback, run receiving threat. Derek Hall, Jamal Williams at running back. But 225 all-purpose yards per game for the diminutive first-team all-conference punt returner and wide receiver Damaris Johnson to go with Trey Johnson, Jameel Owens, Tyler Holmes, Conference USA, left tackle. They struggled, though, last year, the offensive line as a group, giving up 46 sacks.
Well, it's important for them to get that fixed right away, ASAP. But I look at G.J. Kinney. Can he take the big step in year 2, as a sophomore? So that's going to be within that no-huddle offense. So if he can take the big giant step, that's going to help out the offense a lot. Wide receivers are a deep group. You look at Charles Clay, NFL talent. Like you said, off camera, you're surprised he's still around. He's been there forever, but he is a tremendous playmaker for the Golden Hurricane. And look for running back JUCO transfer Derek Hall to see significant playing time. They snatched him up out of the JUCO ranks. A lot of teams recruited him, Kansas State and company, but he's going to be outstanding, big playmaker in the backfield.
Well, Spur linebacker DeAndre Brown is a first-team all-performer, but they really need to get their sacks up because they had 13 less sacks last year than in 08. Corey Doris, defensive end, needs to get to the passer. Tanner Antle, another linebacker who can contribute. Cornerback Charles Davis, an ACL injury last year, is back to play corner. And free safety Dexter McCoyle is back, so that defense needs to shore things up.
You keep an eye on cornerback LaQuinton Black. He could surprise a lot in that secondary. He's a tremendous player. Also, you want to keep another eye on. You have two. Keep the other eye on linebacker Sean Jackson, 6 feet 250, a guy that can come in and play that run on the way to the quarterback, guy that can bring that pressure. In the 3-3-5 defense, you look at ends Audric Ray and Corey Davis have to hold their own up front to help those linebackers and safeties, that spur position, flow to the football freely.
UTEP Miners are 4-8 last year, but led the nation with 5 losses by a touchdown or less. Mike Price trying to get his club back to a bowl game. Last bowl appearance was 05, and they seem to fade in November as they are 26-20 before November. From November on, 8-18. Trevor Vittadell, the quarterback, is back to go with all-conference running back and 4-team All-American Donald Buckram, 132.8 yards per game.
Yeah, Buckram is an outstanding talent. Look for him to get between 1,500 and 1,700 yards again this season. And I need for Trevor Vittadell to get back to his 08 form. He struggled last season. It was a tough year for him overall, on and off the field. So get back to that 08 form, and you should see UTEP's offense take off tremendously. And they have the best O-line in the Conference USA, especially on the left. I mean, left side they have some new starters, but they are very solid. The guys that are going to be new on an offensive line, but that's the best group in Conference USA.
Well, defensive coordinator Andre Patterson switching the 3-3-5 to a normal 4-3. And 110 total defense last year. They gave up 447 yards per game, including over 200 rush yards per game, so they were getting gashed on the ground. Linebacker Roy Zell Smith and defensive end Rob Solly-Jacks really need to take care of that with their front 7, and strong safety Braxton Amy had 5 interceptions last year, so they really need to stop the bleeding, especially on the ground.
But moving to the 4-3 should help with that some, because they have to make sure they don't finish 106 against the run this season as well. Otherwise, it's going to be another 4-8 campaign. Defensively, I think the linebackers are a solid group. They're very deep at linebacker. Secondary, all 4 new starters back there, but I think they have to. Well, I know they have to step up and make plays because they're all four starters back there are new, so they have to get ready to make some plays, because I think defensively they might be able to get after the play.
Our 2010 Conference USA awards and predictions. Toughest schedule. Memphis is going to have trouble in a rebuilding year. They got Tennessee, Louisville, and Mississippi State all out of conference, but I'm going with Rice. They have Texas, Northwestern, and Baylor in the non-conference, and in conference they got to travel to Central Florida, to El Paso to take on UTEP, and to Tulsa. So I'm going with the Owls of Rice.
Rice does have a tough schedule. I'm going to go with Houston, though. They're at SMU in conference, at Southern Miss in conference. Then you have to travel to Texas Tech across the state, so that's another tough matchup. And they're also at UCLA, so I think Houston has a really tough schedule this year.
Well, best recruiting class, you mentioned the Cougars. I'm going with Houston because, you know why? Kevin Sumlin's getting them in, and he gets his players what he needs. He's going to get Matangi Tonga, the junior college transfer, and he's going to contribute right away. But for the future, he has Terrence Broadway, a good, mobile, versatile quarterback who fits the bill of a Case Keenum, but maybe is a little more elusive with his feet. And they got DeAndre Perry and Jordan Jolly at wide receiver, so Sumlin is recruiting his players, wide receivers, and quarterbacks for the future.
Well, speaking of recruiting for the future, I'm going to go with Central Florida. They got a big offensive lineman in Torian Wilson and a good quarterback in Jeffrey Godfrey. So that's going to be key because that's building for the future, that foundation. Jeffrey Godfrey may even see time this year, 5'11", 176, short guy, but has a howitzer for it on, so he can throw the football around the field.
And best pro prospect, like Dwayne Harris, special teams player of the year last year, wide receiver. He could be an NFL receiver one day. I love Charles Clay of Tulsa, what he brings to the table, tight end, halfback. You could use him in a lot of positions, but it's defensive end. Bruce Miller, defensive player of the year. He is the best pro prospect. I think he could be a first-round pick.
I'm going with DeAndre Brown, 6'6", 240, wide receiver out of Southern Miss, added bulk to his frame. Premium position in the NFL level, a guy that can go up and catch the passes and has the speed to stretch defenses vertically.
Well, team on the rise, East Carolina was just on top, so I think they'll be back down. But Ruffin McNeil is going to bring that program back on top fast. SMU, I think they're there already, so I don't think they're plausible for this. I'm going to go with Marshall. Doc Holliday stays in West Virginia. He could recruit in Florida. Remember, he brought in Noel Devine, and he's got all these ties to West Virginia. He stays in the state, so I think Marshall, coming off that big Pizza Bowl win and a lot to build on this year, I think they're on the rise.
I think SMU is on the rise. You look at what June Jones was able to do in Hawaii. SMU has been down since the death penalty for a long period of time, so now they're 2 years of success, expecting to stay that way, so they're on the rise. They're going to be a team to reckon with because they have a solid recruiting base down there in Dallas.
The death penalty. Look that up, SMU, the death penalty.
Right.
But offensive player of the year, got to go with Case Keenum because fits the system. He just puts up the numbers. If there was fantasy college, this guy would be #1 pick all the time, and Keenum's going to put him up again in his senior year, and this is his 3rd year starting.
Yeah, Keenum is my offensive player of the year, hands down. 44 touchdown passes. If he can cut down on interceptions, you can move some of those to touchdowns. So 44 touchdowns. Look for him to break that 50 mark this year.
Well, defense, there's a lot of depleted defenses in this league, but the sure thing is Central Florida. They could control the run, and they got a great secondary. Josh Robinson really coming together. He looks like a good defensive player, but it's Bruce Miller. All starts with him at defensive end up front.
I'm going with linebacker Mario Harvey out of Marshall, guy that's 6 feet 250, tremendous tackler, looks to be a future NFL player.
And for my Conference USA East Division winner, I'm going with Central Florida, a watered-down East. Central, the best defense. They're going to control the run. They got Bryn Harvey at running back. They're not going to ask Rob Calabrese to do too much. So I'm going to go with the Knights Central.
Yeah, I'm going with Central Florida in the East and in the West. I'm taking SMU. I think they're going to take Houston because they're playing them at home. And year 2 in that program, they started a lot of freshmen. Last season, this year, they're sophomores, experienced sophomores. I'm going with SMU.
I'm going with Southern Methodist University. Also, June Jones really putting it together. I like Kyle Padron. They're going to get enough defense out of it. And you're right, middle of the season, they get Houston. That's going to be tough. But Tulsa and Houston, that's a lot more competitive division than the East. So look for Tulsa and Houston to battle SMU. But we're going a little on edge here with SMU. But we both like Central Florida versus Southern Methodist in the Conference USA Championship game. The Mustangs get back there.
Yep.
It'd be good to see them back there.
Stay on top.
For more, visit footballgameplan.com/NCAA or visit youtube.com/footballgameplan.